Hi there, it's Sherry Schreiber of gettingbetter.com with another naked truth for you. Today I'm going to talk to you about confrontation. I'm going to teach you how to do it. It's easier than you think. Everybody dreads confrontation. Everybody. Most people would rather drive their car off a cliff than to confront another about their feelings, about their hurt feelings, about their issues with that person, whatever. But I've developed a little tool that I think is really going to help you a lot with this issue and make confrontation a non-scary thing for you. Well, it's going to feel scary for a little while, but the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And each time you learn to confront someone with this tool I'm going to give you today, it gets a little less frightening, a little less intimidating, a little easier, and before long, it's going to be a snap for you. You'll be like me. You'll be the queen or king of confrontation, and you won't even have to preface your difficult conversations with this little tool I'm giving you today. All right, so are you ready? By the way, the fear or dread of confrontation, it implants in us passive-aggressive tendencies. I have an article on my website at gettingbetter.com called Who's Doing Your Dirty Work? It's up in that first little cluster of articles near the top of my articles page. Who's doing your dirty work? And, pardon me, it's about dismantling passive aggression. It's really fear of saying what we think and feel. That's all confrontation typically really is. It's not going in there armed for battle. It's going in there with somebody and basically just stating our truth. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm needing from you. Okay, so here goes. I use a simple little tool that I think I invented. I don't think I got this from anybody else. But I call this the onion tool. And so you might want to write down on your paper, onion. Take a little note, onion. But don't be writing while I'm speaking to you, because then your subconscious mind can't take in everything that I'm imparting to you, and it won't record it, and it won't integrate it, and it won't be working in the background to help you come to own it and know it. Confrontation. God, it strikes fear and dread in the hearts of the strongest men, the most powerful men on the planet. Confrontation. Speaking about our feelings. So if you picture an onion, a regular like yellow or brown onion, you know, the one with that crinkly, hard, slippery, papery kind of skin. If you do any cooking, you know how hard it is to cut through that skin, and that you actually need a serrated knife edge to do it, because otherwise the knife might slip on that slippery, crinkly, parchment-like skin, and you can stab yourself or cut your hand off. So cutting through the first layer of an onion is basically addressing your first layer of feelings about approaching a difficult conversation with somebody. Do you feel scared? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel anxious? Pardon me. What's your first layer of feelings when you think about having a difficult conversation with somebody? Is it awkwardness? Is it ickiness? Is it uncomfortableness? Is it fear? What is it? So what I'm suggesting is cutting through that first layer of feelings within you is kind of like cutting through that first layer of an onion, a brown onion. Now, the truth is, when we talk about what we're feeling in the moment, we say it out loud, we verbalize it, we actually diffuse those feelings for ourselves. A little example might be if borderlines could say to their partners, wow, when I start feeling really close to you and I start experiencing warm, fuzzy feelings toward you, it brings up so much anxiety in me that I just want to run away. It scares the death out of me. Scares the death out of me? Scares me to death. Okay? But if they could say that rather than acting out those fears, trepidations, anxieties, and feelings, well, we'd have a lot more successful relationships out there in general if somebody has these traits. Because then their partner could go, oh, wow, I had no idea you felt that way. Oh, wow. Okay, I understand that. But can you just sit here and not run away? So talking about the first layer of feelings first, before we head on into the conversation we really want to have, or the monologue, if you will, is vital. It's important. And it's essential. If I came to you and I said, Joe or Sally, I have a difficult conversation I'm really wanting to have with you. I'm feeling a need to have with you. And I'm a little scared to have it because I'm afraid of how you'll react or what you'll do if I step into this and tell you what I'm really feeling or thinking. Wouldn't I have 100% of your attention? Wouldn't you just be on high alert and waiting for what follows? Yeah, you would. So the same works for you when you're approaching someone that you're needing to say some things to that are your truth. Sally or Joe, I have a really difficult conversation I'm feeling a need to have with you. And it's feeling awkward to me. It's feeling uncomfortable for me. It's feeling a little scary for me because I'm not at all sure how you'll react. And that makes me uneasy. Guess what you've done? You've sliced through the first layer of your onion. You sliced through that tough, slippery, brown skin of that onion. And what you've done in the process is you've actually diffused those feelings for yourself by saying them out loud. This works every time. Every single time. If we try and hide those feelings, mask those feelings, keep those feelings in, we're either going to barge in there like a bull in a china shop and try and feel all powerful and like we don't even have these vulnerable feelings and make a mess of it, most likely, and really put the other person on the defensive in the meantime. Or we're never going to approach that difficult conversation at all. Which is probably true for about 85 to 90% of the people on the planet. What also happens is when you put these feelings out there to the other person, not only do you have 100% of their attention, I mean, they're on Tinder hooks now. They're really on high alert. And you have 100% of their attention. They unwittingly have a little bit of empathy for you. Even if they don't want to have empathy for you, they have empathy for you. Just a wee bit. because everybody can relate to difficult conversations. We all dread it. We'd rather shove sharp objects in our eyes. What you've also done for you is you've greased the tube. You've greased the way for the rest of the conversation to come out. You've set up that conversation for yourself. Just by talking about your initial feelings heading into your difficult conversation. Does this make sense? All right, so Joe, I have a really difficult conversation I'm needing to have with you, and gosh, this is hard for me and a little scary for me because I'm not sure how you'll react. And you might hate me for it. But honestly, the other day when we were together, you hurt my feelings. You really did. I felt so hurt by you when you said what you said to me that it made me feel unsafe with you. And it also made me angry. And I need you never to say that again to me. Now the other person's going, geez. They're either going, geez, I'm really glad that you're alerting me that I stepped on your toes because now I'm going to be a little more careful around your toes. I know where your sensitive area is, at least one of them. So unless I'm a borderline or someone who has no empathy for you, I'm going to really avoid hurting your feelings again like that. I'm really sorry. And that's all there is to it, folks. Confrontation is simply talking about what you feel and you think in reference to somebody who's upset you. It's your truth. And nobody can argue with your truth. These are your real feelings. Nobody can make you wrong for your feelings. Feelings are feelings. So you sort of gingerly approach these things, hoping to get the other person's 100% attention with your prelude to what you need to say, hoping they will relate to how uncomfortable this is for you as you're starting to slice through that skin of that onion. And you've just poured olive oil down the chute for the rest of the conversation to flow. You've really made it 10 times easier for yourself because you've set it up that way. Now, if the other person gets all defensive and they start interrupting you, or they say, you don't know what you're talking about. You're overly sensitive. This is not somebody that perhaps you should continue to think you can have a healthy dynamic with. Onion analogy. Always remember this. Now, after a while, when you've done this 20, 30, 60 times, use this little onion tool to approach your difficult conversations, no matter who you're with. And trust me, this tool is going to help you confront anybody about anything at any time. It's going to serve you professionally. It's going to serve you in your personal relationships. Even you people out there with borderline features, Talk about your pain. Talk about your fears with your partner. Don't act them out. Say, you know what? Every time I start to feel warm and fuzzy feelings toward you, every time I start to feel really close to you, it scares the bejesus out of me. It just brings up so much anxiety in me. All I want to do is just run away or pick a fight with you. Tell them. Tell them about it. Tell them about it straight. Makes me feel really scared. Oh, honey, I'm really sorry. I'm so glad you've told me. But what you've done for yourself is you've diffused those feelings of fear, trepidation, anxiety, and torture about what it feels like when you start to attach. If you can do this pretty regularly in your relationship, you might just have a shot at building a healthier, more nourishing, more solid foundation with your partner. Because everybody can relate to scared feelings. Everybody. Try this. No matter who you are. Try this. Talk about the first layer of the onion first. And you'll be amazed and surprised. Every time you do this, it gets a little less scary than it was the last time you did it. You have a little less trepidation than you had the last time you did it. And on it goes until it doesn't feel so scary anymore approaching a difficult conversation or having a confrontation with somebody. And this is the tool that's going to enable you to do this, confronting stuff. I think that's enough for today. Goodbye, good luck, and God bless.